And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the SEA Wheels podcast. I can't actually remember when the last one was, but we're up to episode 21. We're now legal in the US.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're legal.
How did you think about this one for the last 2 weeks? Because it was 2 weeks ago, man. That we
No,
had the podcast.
I
We
didn't
missed.
think about that at all.
You just
You know,
improvised.
I just improvised.
Oh my God, you're
I just
witty.
improvised.
You're very witty.
Mm.
Yeah. Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to be back. Sorry for missing last week, but yeah, we all have a job, I guess, and. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I shouldn't say that because given the situation, not everybody has a job. But yeah, anyway, the pressure is on for everybody, and December is a tough month for everyone as
Yeah.
well. So,
It was interesting for me because we had somebody test positive for COVID in our office and we had to go through all these protocols. Turned
yeah,
out it was a false negative. So his first test came back positive and he's done another 2 tests and they're negative, but he has typhoid fever. So
okay,
it sort of like mimics the symptoms, but it's not actually COVID, but we still have to shut the office for 2 days and get it like fogged, and then corporate is like, no, you must like isolate people for 2 weeks. And it's like, yeah, but he's got typhoid, not COVID. Like, and it's just like, are you a virologist? Sorry, this is just me being annoyed. And it's like, who are you actually? It's like, I'm a doctor, and he's telling me
it's
it's behind the desk.
EHS, but you know what? At the end of the day, but I actually don't mind. I mean, I know it's annoying, but I mean, especially in your case when you know that it's not. But you know what? Better safe than sorry, anyway, right? So
Yeah,
those procedures kick in and they're here for a reason. And to just change subjects altogether, have you had a look at the freaking Yaris GR
yeah, we spoke
a
about it
bit more?
on the podcast.
Yeah, we did, and that's where we left off. And you didn't know anything about that car. So what I'm asking is that since then, have you looked at it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering where I can get one.
Yeah, me too. The thing is, here in Thailand, I looked at it. I looked it up. They're gonna be 150,000 USD.
Fuck. They're about like 45 or 50 in Australia, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, what can I do? But I still put the deposit on it. Um,
I mean, you can get an
no,
Audi
I'm just
R8
kidding. I'm just kidding.
for that.
I just told you, yeah, just before the I might let the RX-7 go just because it's too difficult to find an occasion to drive it in.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't have the time, and I want this car to be on the streets. I want people to see it, and I can't give that to that car. And yeah, I'm looking for something a bit more usable, a bit more, yeah, I guess. So I might actually swap it for an Evo,
Which one? Or you
Evo
just
8, Evo 8 MR.
Yeah.
Well, equivalent MR because they're not really Evo 8 MRs here, but
Yeah.
they just rebuild them as MRs. So,
Yeah.
you know, we receive those cars from Japan. They're cut in half, as they do in Australia actually,
Mm.
and they take that whatever it's called, that Mitsubishi
4G.
shit thing,
Yeah.
shit box, that they actually just take the body, they remove
Oh, really?
everything, and then they just rebuild it with all the parts they got from Japan as an Evo. And
Yeah.
also change the roof to, you know, to be to be carbon fiber, the boot to become like an MR basically, right?
Yeah.
All those details. So I'm actually looking at probably doing this. Because again, this is something I can actually use family wise. So on the weekends, I can actually use it. The RX-7 is very hard to use, you
Yeah.
know, for going to get bread, basically, which is
Yeah.
a very French thing to say, right? Let's go and hey, let's go for the bread run.
Bread.
That's the way we do it.
We call it, we just say, do you want to go through a run through the Royal Nasho or
Yeah, the sausage roll.
the sausage roll?
You love your sausage roll in Australia. They're really good.
Yeah, they are. They're fucking terrible because it's like,
They're unbelievably oily,
yeah,
and it's like, yeah, an unbelievable amount of carbs
made from like
packed in one small package.
made from like cow labia or whatever the fuck is in it.
yeah, we work out, right? We work out.
Yeah.
So we also take care of this.
Yeah.
Tell me again
There's
about the
like
Libya thing. I was just like was it?
there's, been a few things that have happened in F1 over the last few days.
But let's talk about the race first,
It
before
was
we go
boring.
into the rest. Yeah, so
Abu
that
Dhabi's.
was.
It's
Man,
really
why do you say this now? I was just like, I prepared the whole thing saying,
all right.
I'm just reminding this, right? What?
See, this is the funny thing. This is the day I was telling you about. Ratio and I went to brunch. It started at 11:30 with alcohol, and then the drinking stopped after the race.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you watched
Oh
it
my
again.
god! I didn't watch it again. It was
Oh
on.
man, it was boring.
It was on, but like I was just sort of was like,
It was boring, but you know what? In a way, it balances out. Grosjean going through the barrier for the previous race as well.
yeah,
So it's like a race without drama was kind of a okay. Why not? But I maintain, and I do maintain that Formula One has a few opportunities to make the racing more interesting, by keeping their rules around the cars, not thinking about the cars, but thinking about the things around Formula One, which are do a mystery circuit, do a
yeah,
last minute, because they're able to do this anyway, right?
yeah.
Logistically, they're able to do this. So do a last minute and throw in new tracks that they haven't run on for at least 10 years,
Hmm.
or completely new tracks. Continue to do this and reverse the grid. Not reverse the grid by reversing the cars, but by reversing the drivers. Because I'm sorry, Russell was brilliant in that Mercedes, and I was so happy to see it.
Yeah,
Just give us that excitement. They can do it. They really can do it.
yeah,
It's Mercedes drivers anyway. There are many Ferrari drivers on the grid. There are Renault drivers on the grid.
Hmm.
Just reverse the order. Just put Hamilton back in a Williams and see how he fares. Put Russell in a Mercedes, see how he fares. Put
yeah. See, that's
Leclerc
pretty.
back in a. Sorry.
That sounds interesting, except for the complexities of do I fit in the car? Like Russell didn't fit in Hamilton's
Yes.
car.
Okay. Very good point. He didn't. Yeah, but despite this, he was actually ahead of Bottas. He was doing a race that was ahead of Bottas.
Hmm.
He should have finished ahead of Bottas. And
He
I'm
should
not
have
part of
finished
that.
first.
He should have finished first. Yeah. But again, race circumstances, they're here for a reason. That's why we love racing as well. But at the end of the day, I also, I'm not part of the conspiracy theories that they made him, change his tires once again to try and get him behind Bottas.
Hmm.
But yeah, realistically, he should have been in front of Bottas anyway. So let's not go back on that episode. But what I'm saying is that they are the means to make the race more interesting. One of those things is surprise. Surprise, motherfucker! There's
Yeah,
a new race. We're gonna race in the Philippines.
yeah. I mean,
Is what
they
I
also
mean, right?
used to
It's
race
like
in
there's no
Vietnam.
data. They have to adapt. Logistically, it's still possible to do because they've proven that logistically they can actually get a 17 races going, through the year. At kind of the last notice and still make it happen despite the lack of flights, especially, and the lack of transports available at this very moment.
Yeah,
um, and that's what I say, and again, surprise the teams. Don't run the same tracks all the time. They have data for the past 20 years on everything they've done.
I agree.
Throw it in,
I think you.
change the seasonality as well.
Yeah,
Don't run Abu Dhabi as the last race. I mean, they're paying enough for it, I guess, but run it before. So the data that they have is completely wrong as well because the temperatures are completely different. It's
yeah,
just do all of this, and,
yeah.
and you'll have interesting racing, I guess. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, I also understand why you can't necessarily do that, but I think it would be really fun to do. But to be honest, I think this was probably the best season I've ever watched.
There's no doubt,
It
that was the best
was.
season. I mean, the last race was not very interesting, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I honestly think it was. It was the best season I've watched of F1. It was just, you know, most of the time I'm always focusing on a few drivers, but this one, I don't know what it was. I found myself more involved through the grid.
I've thought about
Um,
it. Yeah,
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 I've I,
yeah,
I've I've found myself a lot more involved through the grid. There's a few drivers that I'd pay no attention to, like Latifi, Ocon, Giovinazzi, but
yeah.
throughout the season, I was just like so interested to see what was happening across
And
the grid.
and to your
The
point, that's
racing,
exactly it. That's
yeah,
exactly it. You're right. The thing is, the media has been focusing on other teams
yeah,
a bit more this year than they have
yeah,
any other year.
yeah,
We
and the
we've seen the
racing,
middle, the mid pack, right?
yeah.
We've seen those fights a lot more than we
That
had
Renault-McLaren battle
in
for the
previous years.
constructors titles, that was good.
Yeah, I mean that place for third, and
Yeah,
congratulations McLaren for getting it.
yeah.
But that third place, just that fight was just very interesting.
Hmm.
You've got the like the wounded beast that is Ferrari trying to just prove and try to get there. And you've got the Renault that is like on a trajectory kind of thing. McLaren, which is kind of in a way underfunded, but with many, yeah, so much talent inside that actually was fighting for it really. and
Yeah,
and the Racing Point that had a copycat car,
yeah.
and ended up you know um, being a very big contestant for that third spot as well. But it's
Oh,
just
yeah, and
it
it
was
was
it was you're right. It was very interesting, and I think that one of the reasons why it was interesting is because we had some ups and downs. We had like some completely unforeseen races, like events in races and winners. And then Perez comes to mind, and Gasly comes to mind as well. Like those races were just like so complicated and so it's no way you can actually predict. Well, apart from that guy in Northern Europe who actually did predict it, but yeah. At the end of the day, it was just unbelievable. It was a great season. Um, can't wait for next season. I hope that we're gonna see it start in March, like it's supposed to start.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, just so much happening, and on the track and also outside the track. With the very first revelation that Vettel didn't have a contract for Ferrari,
Yeah,
and started the dance. It's
yeah,
like in 2019 we had this with Daniel Ricciardo leaving Red Bull, right, and then going to sorry, 2018. But like the dance, like for the market,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just it's
Pretty
just it's
big,
just fun.
yeah.
So now I'll let you talk about the market and what happened this week
Oh, well, I don't think we quite touched on, what was it, on.
on how boring the race was.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually driving Abu Dhabi this afternoon, in an F3 car, and I'm like, "This track's fucking annoying." Like, the beginning's alright, the middle section is stupid because you've got all these, like
You
section
sound like
2 has
Kimi
got.
Raikkonen, man.
Yeah, I know, this is the thing I was sitting there thinking going,
the
"I
first
sound
two the
exactly
first
like
two
Kimi."
corners are interesting. The rest is shit.
Yeah, and then you've got that sector 2 where you've got a hairpin. No, sorry, you've got 90-degree chicanes followed by a first gear hairpin, which then goes into another 90-degree chicane followed by, and you're just like, this is so slow and boring. And then all of a sudden, you start to pick up pace. You're doing full throttle in fifth around two strong corners, and then you drop down to second to go around the fucking hotel to go back, and then you go to the start line. You're like, what is this track is so stupid? But so you sort of go,
It is.
Herman
It is. It
Herman
really is.
Tilke literally had the entire desert to work with, and this is what he came up with. Like, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, people always talk about it, and like, I watched the race and go, I wasn't that interested. And then I drove the track this afternoon and went, this is crap.
It is. It is.
Like
It is
I
not.
was
It is not
really
so
like,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, I was like,
Man.
you there's two or three sections where you start to pick up pace, and then all of a sudden you just stop, like
You
literally
know what?
stop. You know
Let's do a stream 2 days ago. 3 days ago.
what?
Well, you're gonna publish this on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So let's do a stream tomorrow, which is 3 days ago when we publish it. So let's do a stream 3 days ago because I haven't played, I haven't used the rig for for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I need to use it.
I really force myself to pull it out because, like, yeah, as you know, she's still recovering. So, you know, while she's sort of sleeping and whatnot, I was
Yeah,
like, all right.
I apologize for this already. I know she's
Yeah.
recovering, so it's fine.
So I pulled out
It's
the rig.
man-made.
But I pulled out the rig and I started playing, and I was like, you know, I missed just crunching through gears and, you know, racing. You know, I've been playing a lot of Assetto Corsa actually.
Yeah.
And I download. I can't even remember the website where I get all the tracks and everything, but I downloaded Eastern Creek Raceway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I downloaded Eastern Creek Raceway and been doing a few races on that. Like, you know, you go through on an F1 car, you go through on a Le Mans prototype and all this other stuff. And I just settled on driving a C7R.
Did you
Corvette.
find out how we set up a server so we can do it together? No, not yet. Okay.
No idea. I really want to, but I can't work it out. But it's been a lot of fun, you know, playing that. You know, and I was really surprised because I've been playing Eastern Creek so much. I'm like in the C7R, I'm pretty consistent. Like I'm always in the 135s. Of course, the tire degradation through the races and that is real, you know, and the fuel loads are real and everything like that. So, because it's pretty hardcore, that game. But I've been having a lot of fun just running around that circuit. You know, it's been really good.
Let's try. You have to teach me. You have to teach me on that one.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I've been playing is with myself, I guess.
But yeah, man, like, you know, and I've been playing F1 2020 a bit. I actually haven't done a season. I'm actually about to start the actual F1 season, but I'm
yeah, I'm doing the F2 season, but I've just only the first track.
Yeah,
which is Bahrain, so
yeah,
that's the only thing I played. So
I
yeah.
finished it today actually, and Abu Dhabi was the last track.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. I did play a little bit of Baku.
Yeah.
So just but I'm at the like FP1, you know, sort of. But I actually think this is where we could actually try to find time to play and stream it for fun. But actually play the game, but like 100%.
Yeah.
You know, no flashback, no nothing.
We
go FP1, FP2, FP3, and qualifying, and you know.
Well, we should do this on a weekday, I think, as well.
Yeah, but that's what's hard, man. For me, yeah, the thing is, work is it's really intense.
Oh, don't worry. The last 2 days for me were crazy because, like,
I'm sure.
Like, when was it? Wednesday. You know, Rachel was in a surgery, and we got there at 7:30 in the morning to start, and I spent.
You brought her, man.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
So that's the thing, my office. No, sorry, it was Thursday.
Hey,
I
told you so.
Yeah, and my office was closed. You know, because obviously we had that COVID.
Because of that, yeah.
We had to shut the office anyway. So I was like, all right, well, I'd already planned to be there anyway. There was no doubt I was going to be there.
Sure.
But because the office was closed for 2 days, it was basically like everyone was work from home. So I basically started my first meeting at 9 and I finished my last meeting at 10, you know, like it was a full day. And then Friday as well.
9 to 10 a.m. Yeah, that's a full day, man.
10 p.m. You fucking.
Yeah.
and then, you know, like the same thing on Friday. Now it wasn't as hectic, but it wasn't as hectic, but I had like meetings through the day. I had to, like, you know what the funny thing is? I find I get a lot of shit done when I'm out of office, because I just got to get it done because I know it has to be done, rather than sitting on it and thinking about it.
I must say it depends on the day for me. There are days where I'm armed to do to be like very task oriented like this. And there are days where I'm like very people oriented as well. So
Yeah.
for me, it kind of shifts, like between what the priorities are. At the
Yeah.
moment, however, we're trying to close the year, and there's a lot to be done for this to happen. So
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
But back to racing.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
talk about the silly season. I think the biggest news at the moment is Audi also announced that they're returning to World Endurance Championship this week.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now we have
that's like
Audi,
that's like
Porsche,
everybody's like,
Peugeot,
yeah,
Toyota.
everybody's who gives a shit?
That's what everyone's talking about. They're all talking about the World Endurance Championship. We've got 4 major manufacturers entering the LMDH class. It's all my Christmases have come at once, and it's not
For
even Christmas yet.
for the 1 or 2 listeners who have been listening, all that time, Eric loves World Endurance Championships. Um, I don't give a shit that much, but just because I love the guy,
It's
I
in your home
yeah.
country. How can you not love it? The
Yeah.
foundation of the sport is in France, and
So
you're just
yeah,
sitting
there
there
you go.
going,
He's trying to
"Ah,
convince me to love it, and I must say that he's changed my mind somehow a bit. Still not there, but yeah, because I'm still Formula One all the way.
yeah, let's not pretend the Formula One is definitely what I watch more of." I
I
mean,
like the format. Like
mm,
24 hours race. It's just so much of a struggle to kind of watch. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
like for
follow.
me,
It's not.
the
I don't know
typical
how to
way
follow it.
The
Is the
typical
thing.
way, yeah, it's really geek oriented. Like you need the apps and all this other shit because I sign up to a season pass every year and I don't watch all the races. Le Mans is the one I watch from start to finish mostly. The last couple of years, no, because we haven't had too many big major manufacturers in there. Even in the GT class, you didn't even see Corvette in there. And Pratt and Miller just got sold to Oshkosh, by the way, so that's interesting. And they're the ones that run the Corvette endurance team and
Oh,
Indy
thanks
team and
for
all that.
yeah. No, for me, I mean, like seriously, like there are some races that I love. Le Mans is definitely one of them. Um, Nürburgring, of course, because I'm a big fan of that track. Even though I've never, I've never gone around it in real life. Bathurst is also a track that
Mm.
I absolutely love. Those are just Road
It is
America.
it's a tough track, man, Bathurst.
Bathurst is
It's
really,
tough,
really tough, and it's
really
tough on
tough.
the drivers. It's tough on the cars. It's the elevation is brutal.
Like
The
you look
coming
you
down is just
Yeah,
unbelievable.
like you look at it on a you look at the circuit map and it looks like a big U and then it gets twisty at the top, and you're just like, "Oh, what's that hard?" And then you just sort of go, "Nah, it's like it's a fast track, and then you're literally climbing up a hill, and so you're battling gravity on the way down as well."
On the way down
Oh
is
my god,
very brutal
it's
actually, but on
brutal,
the way
yeah.
up as well. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun actually to drive. So if anybody is still listening, that's the one track that I really recommend. The other one is that what is it called? Zucker. What is that track that we played a couple of
Zolder,
times already? Yeah, Zolder. Zolder is a fantastic track.
that's a really good track, actually.
Oh my god, so good. Just
When we
love that
played it, I was
track.
shocked. I was like, "Wow, this is actually a
Yeah,
good
it's
track."
just fun, and it's just, like the way you have to hit the borders that are actually so high as well, like
Yeah.
jumping and all of that. It's a real pleasure to play that track. So no, um, all of it lovely. Um, but let's go back to Formula One because for me, uh, the biggest announcement is Vettel going to Aston Martin.
Well, that's not a
I'm kidding, man. I'm
But
kidding.
I'll be honest, like, I'm very happy he's still in the sport. He's still got a lot of fight in him,
It
that guy.
deserves to be.
Yeah.
But that actually what I'm excited about is that musical chair actually got Perez to go too.
Yeah. Let's be fair. Perez at Red
That
Bull is
is
the big news. Perez at
man,
Red Bull.
man, that is good.
Oh man,
I'm very happy about that news. I used to dislike Perez the same way I disliked Alonso.
Maldonado. I just
No,
like
no,
him like
no, Alonso
Maldonado.
for
Yeah.
me because I never understood and I love Alonso now and
Oh yeah.
I love Perez as well. But in the early times, let's say, I dislike those drivers because I never understood the importance of grit. And those guys, that's what they have. They never give up.
Yeah.
They just go. I mean, it's not like the other guys around the grid give up or anything, but those two guys, they just keep that motivation and that push. It's with a freaking passion that they do it all the time. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. And yeah, that's where I'm very excited to see Perez at Red Bull. Also because even though I really like Alex Albon, um, I think he never really mastered that car. And one of the
Yeah.
reasons why is because the back is so unstable. And one of the reasons why I think Perez is going to be a great driver there is because he's so good with the tires, with actually the feeling in the car, and from what we see in his whole career, um, he's got like a feather foot on the accelerator.
Well, see, that's the thing. I had the same thought today. Actually, last night when the news was announced, I was really thinking, okay, how's he going to be with that car because it's so like snappy, like it's snap oversteer. When it goes,
Yeah,
it goes. There's no recovering that car. Whereas if you look at like a Ferrari or a Mercedes, you can recover that car. But the thing
yeah,
that
but it's oversteer versus understeer, and the
yeah,
thing is, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
but then at the same time, I just went, well, that's not the car for next year, so we don't know what's happening. Like
It's
there
a
may be
car. It's always going to be a car for Verstappen, which is what he likes anyway. That's the way he's fast, right? So
yeah,
the car is developed that way.
and this
No other driver can make it happen. No other young driver is going to
yeah.
understand it. So now they get the best guy on the grid that actually has proven that this is his strength. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this is where it's genius. I mean, it's genius. It's not genius. It's just like, uh, one plus yeah, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
It's just so logical.
Like
It just makes sense.
Perez just had so much to prove at the end of the season. Yeah, well, when he found out that Vettel was coming on board, and he would have had to know they're going to go with Stroll
But
in that
this is
team.
the other thing also, and I think this is one of the strongest point actually. After So the second point for me, after that management of the back end of the car and the tires and that feather foot, like
Mm.
on the throttle. The other thing is that Perez doesn't need to be the number one favorite driver.
Yeah.
He he doesn't care.
Mm.
He'll just do his job. You know what I mean?
But he's in
Um,
a potentially championship winning car. That's the
yeah,
thing that
he
like
is. Yeah, he is. And I'm sure he's gonna see this, and I'm sure also. Well, that's where I actually. It's not. I'm sure. This is where I hope he's gonna recognize this and not have the same run in that he's had in the past with his, you know, co-driver.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he also has that experience to be able to understand this as well, and
Yeah.
that's why I think it's the perfect fit. And not having this guy in Formula One was just as much as for me Romain Grosjean is okay. We cannot say anything now about Romain Grosjean
Yeah.
because burnt hand and everything, and he paid his tribute and blah blah blah, and he's
Yeah.
like wow, such a driver. I mean, he is such a driver, I must say. Actually, when you
They
see
all
his
are.
time at Lotus, unbelievable.
The guy was
But
brilliant.
at the end of the day, seeing him out of F1 is not really, to see Tsunoda coming in.
Yeah, I don't know anything
You
about this guy,
know,
so that'll be interesting to see how he is in
oh
F1.
man, this guy is one of the, he's the same kind of route than the George Russell, the Leclerc, and all of this. That's a very talented guy. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
great to have him in it. And I must add, it's going to add to the diversity also a little bit, which is always a welcome. Um, so next year with Alonso back, with all of this, it's going to be very exciting. Actually, I must say.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like at the end of the day, like we had like Hulkenberg come back temporarily this season. We have another Fittipaldi on the grid. It was fun. It was really fun to have these guys come on. And like I said, this was the best F1 season I've ever watched. And when we we have to look at it as well. Like Haas has had a big shakeup as well. Like with they've also
Honda,
got well, they've got Mick Schumacher joining.
Mick,
He also
Mick,
won F2, so that'll
yeah,
be interesting.
yeah.
I think he's going to be impressive, but I don't think he's going to like. The best you can hope from him is seeing him in the points next season. Uh, that,
Yeah,
that
but the best that can happen to him is also to be in a second, a sister, daughter, whatever you want to call it, team. Not
Ferrari, yeah,
not
yeah,
not not at the front in the beginning. So yeah,
yeah.
uh,
But that's exactly what's happened to Russell, and he got the opportunity, and he just went, "Yeah, look at that! I could have won that race."
yeah. But the thing is, then you have to question, what's going to happen to Sainz then? What is the future of his career?
Yeah.
Because Ferrari is heavily, obviously, investing into Charles Leclerc.
Well,
So
Sainz
so
was
so,
testing
and they're
today.
investing also in Mick
Yeah.
Schumacher. That basically that's the golden route. Like if Schumacher proves himself next season,
Yeah.
then what are they going to do with Sainz? Because obviously they want to promote him at some stage. I
But
mean,
this is
that's
the
the
thing.
obvious
The
route,
thing
right?
that Sainz did, because at the beginning of the season, that McLaren was not very good. But Sainz was really placing that car well during this season. But Norris, even in the last race, he seemed to be doing a lot better than what Sainz was in towards the end of the season.
Yeah, true, very true,
So
very true.
Norris with Ricciardo is going to be very interesting.
Man, it's gonna be fun. I think Ricardo is gonna regret a little bit, leaving Renault. That is really on the up and up, and that change of branding from Renault to Alpine actually might be very refreshing for the team as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're living on an up. Of course, they didn't finish third, and they were not able to beat McLaren. But
They could have.
still,
Yeah, they could have.
yeah, they could have. But yeah, it's still, they were in that fight exactly, right? So
Yeah.
I think in that sense, it's quite positive to see that that team is on the up and up. And the very big question mark for me next year is McLaren getting a new engine. Like
Yeah.
there's no real changes to the rule because of COVID. They've pushed it to 2022.
Yeah.
Um, and they're gonna have to actually fit an engine with at the end of the day, not many choices, not many changes that they can actually do to the car. I mean, the aerodynamic you can change, but
Yeah.
they have like specific and a few tokens that they can use basically to modify the car, right, for performance. And a lot of the tokens that McLaren is going to have to use apparently are going to be around fitting that engine inside their car.
But it is a smaller package, the Mercedes one, isn't it?
Yeah, but no matter what you do, you have to change a lot of things around the car to fit that engine.
Yeah,
And
like the
because of
pods
this,
and everything are gonna have to change.
those
Yeah.
changes, which the other team can use towards performance, they have to use to just fit the engine.
Yeah, true.
And that might be, a little bit difficult for them in
Yeah.
2021. Let's see. I
Well,
mean, at the end of
it's
the day,
gonna
it's in every challenges you have an opportunity, right? So,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's gonna be interesting for Red Bull as well because what are they gonna do? Their Honda deal is kind of like in question. Well, Honda's out next year, not next year, the year after.
2022. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I think they're waiting. They're waiting for the engine freeze, basically, or
Yeah.
essentially not the engine freeze, but at least a limited, update on the engine itself, which
Yeah.
which is both understandable from their point of view
Yeah.
because they could actually take over that Honda engine and they can be their own engine manufacturer kind of thing. But at the same time, it could be very hurtful to Formula One because, as we talked during the last podcast, I believe that the technologies that we see in Formula One need to be a bit more relevant, and they're not at this time. I think the V6. I mean, look, Alonso running the V10 engine, running around the track. As you've seen, have you heard? Have you watched some of those
Yeah,
videos
I watched
where
the
you
lap.
actually have Hamilton who like
And you
doing an
know the
interview like,
thing that I really loved
"Oh
about
my
that
God,
lap?
they got to bring that
Yeah, yeah,
back."
yeah. You know the thing I loved about watching Alonso's lap? It was this.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
technique. He still has it. Like he knows he has.
It's not that he still has it. It's that car was very peculiar for this apparently,
Yeah.
where you had to chuck it
Yeah, you had to
because it was
yeah. You had to
yeah.
understeer because it wouldn't hold temperature
It
in the
was
front tires.
understeering. So because
Yeah.
the back was so brilliant,
Yeah.
that's the way you had to drive that car.
Yeah.
And it's just chuck it in the corner. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's I think it's Josh Rebel who get like a whole analysis of this, or Chain Bear, maybe Chain
Yeah.
Bear
Shane Bear did it. Yeah.
channel, who have that like thing. So he's just like he's yeah, chuck it in, and
Yeah.
then like just the car is going like
'Cause
this,
it was,
and then
yeah.
because it was just
Basically, I don't know. I think it was something to do with the tire temperature. Like you said, the rear was really good, but the problem is the
the
front. Like
rear
in
was
tight
just
corners.
so planted
Yeah.
that basically you wanted the corner to be it's not the corner to be well you always want the corner to be as short as possible, but
Yeah.
you wanted the turn to be as
Yeah.
short as possible, so
Yeah.
so that's why you truck it in, poof, you can go, because
Well, see,
like the
this is
reacceleration.
from this is not my understanding. This is just straight up from what it was said in the video. It was he would force understeer to build heat in the tires really quickly, so it would follow through those tight corners, and that's why he would just get it and just throw the fucking wheel like he'd do a 180-degree on the wheel so that it was just straight up understeering heat, and then it would grab and go.
Never ever contradict me, but
I'm not
yes, I
contradicting
agree
you,
with
man.
you. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding. I'm kidding, man.
but yeah, like I genuinely like I saw him
Unbelievable.
get in that car and straight away, well, I that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, there it is.
And have you seen the young test drivers where he comes up, a young test driver, whatever. I don't want to actually even talk about this, but during that test, he's first.
Who, Alonso?
Alonso.
Yeah, yeah.
You see
It's still,
the test at Abu Dhabi, right after the race,
yeah,
they
yeah.
had a test there, and yeah, he was considered a young driver, which is very controversial, and I don't want to get into this because I don't care.
Yeah.
He's first.
Yeah. Like he's a quick guy, man. Like
He's freaking quick. He's a quick learner, and
yeah.
he's that old school short, sort of Schumacher. You give him whatever car, he'll do the best out of it. He'll just drive the wheels of that car, and that's why I can't wait to see him next year.
Yeah, sorry, I just heard something banging in my fucking house. I don't know what it was.
We've been banging.
Yeah. But that was interesting. But what about okay, how about this? I think we should touch on it briefly. I mean, this is kind of like a season recap, I guess, this podcast. But what about
No,
like,
that's not the season recap. Okay, that's the season recap.
we're just talking about whatever happened in this.
We need to milk it, man. We need to milk it because we need other videos without Formula One coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe we just do streams. Who knows?
Sorry, viewers. Please plug your ears. Man, we really need to milk it, man.
No, we need to milk it. But you know the thing that was really interesting, okay, not interesting, but like controversial, was like Mazepin. So he's Mick Schumacher's.
Oh,
Did you hear about
yes. And you know what? I was just watching this Netflix show called Room 2806.
Okay.
Which is the story of DSK. I can understand if you don't know him, but a really someone who was supposed to be the president of France. Like it's like his whole future was like kind of that's where he's going. The president of the IMF, and who sexually assaulted this lady, which is, unacceptable at any level you want to bring it. Yeah. But at the same time, this really struck me as, because this guy did a lot of good as well. Like he's a genius. But this is what tells me, you're not judged on your victories. You're not judged on all of this. You're judged in the seconds where you're weak.
Yeah.
That's it seems to be the rule that we set for everybody.
Okay,
Right?
if we're going to get into this discussion,
Right,
you know what?
it's a bit profound. Yeah, it's a bit more.
If you want to get into this discussion, I look at it this
I
way.
need another drink. Yeah, I agree.
I look at it and go, all of this shit, it started with Britney Spears. Do you agree?
Did it?
Do you remember when Britney Spears was going through her meltdown and everything? And all everyone did, the media and all this shit, was just rubbish this girl. And I'm just like, and since then, it's just been like, cancel everybody, Nobody deserves anything. Oh, you farted in a cinema? Well, your employer's going to hear about this and all this other shit. And I just look at that. And when we're talking about F1, when people think of F1, when we're talking about a generation older than us, like they're always talking about like, the glitz and the glamour of F1. But I'm sorry, there's no glamour in F1 right now. There's none. So we love it because we're car geeks. We love racing, and at the moment the best we can do is actually just sim racing, but even that gives us enjoyment. But we look at it and go, bro, we literally had a James Hunt movie. Like the Playboy Formula One driver. And then like you look at how Mazepin was like crucified for grabbing some chick's tits, who, by the way, she came out and said, "No, we're like friends, and this is like normal." And you just sort of go like, what the fuck, man? Like we always talk about the glitz and glamour of F1. We
Call
had
Karen. Call Karen. Try to get her opinion on this one.
I don't know.
Which I agree with you 100%.
Like, but you look at the
like it's like because we have those standards that society is imposing on us. We can't be like just jokingly playing. It's like we have to be always like in that line, working that line that is like the accepted societal kind of a message or communication or whatever it is. And I agree with you, it's completely unacceptable.
What's unacceptable?
like,
what Mazepin did, or what, like?
no, what's unacceptable is
Okay,
that
yeah.
we have to be stuck into the same molds that is defined by powers that we're not aware of or in power of. It's like, yeah, I'm a right-handed guy, and then all the left-handed guys are gonna get offended. What the hell?
I'm left-handed.
Where are we going?
Like,
No, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
This is what I mean, right? He's touching a boob. He was playing with a lady who is a friend of her and of him. Sorry, and they just it just happened to be on the video, and then his whole career is down. This is back to what I was saying. This guy has been like racing. Okay, well, he's like being sponsored like hell and everything because his father is a billionaire, definitely, but he's talented. He's built so much, and then for 1 second touching one boob, your whole life, your career is over, your whole dream.
The people that are
come on,
like,
be a bit more tolerant. He's a kid as well. He's a kid.
And this is the funny thing, I typically stay away from like forums and shit like that because it's just like it's just only dickheads have an opinion, right? But there's one that I join.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
There's one that I'm on, right? and it's not. There's a band I like called Periphery, and the guitarist and kind of founder of the band, his name's Misha Mansour. He's got a cast section because he's a massive petrol head, right? So people go in there and talk about Formula One and all this other shit. I seem to be. I don't know why. Like me and the moderator seem to go back and forth a lot, which is interesting. But a lot of people were saying, like recently, they went, "Oh, Mazepin deleted his apology," and you're just sort of like, "Who the fuck cares? Who gives a shit? Like, who actually
Give me
cares?"
a fucking break.
Yeah,
Seriously.
like, I look
Seriously.
at this stuff and I go, "Why
Stop
do we care?"
and stop judging. I mean, he's a kid. You know, even if it was ill-intended, which it's not, as you said. You know, the
The
friend said
girl even
they were
came
just
out and said it
having
was like,
fun.
yeah,
And
like,
then you know, like even if it was ill-intended, like why? Come on, it's the freaking social media making it just bigger than what it is.
oh yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
who hasn't played, you know, like touching the dick, touching the pussy, and over? Oh, who hasn't played that as they
like
were
the last,
kids?
like I go out and I'll come back from the bar or whatever, and somebody will grab my ass. I don't know who the fuck it is, but it's
Yeah,
like,
who cares? I'm like, yeah, okay, somebody's, you know, attracted to me.
yeah, and you sort
I've
of
got
go,
lady boys coming to me or gay men coming to me. I don't mind. I'm actually
yeah,
like I'm actually flattered. You know, like they think, you know, I look good enough for them to actually make the first step.
well,
And
it's true.
I don't, you know, like bring them down or anything. I just say, yeah, nice, but yeah, sorry, I'm married and it's not my thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and it's
fine.
the same for me. Like
But
I
you know,
go,
like if you want to have a drink, let's have a drink. If you want to dance, let's go have fun. You know, it's just like this. You know, it's who cares?
it's absolutely mental how, even Huss came out, oh yes, we're taking these events very seriously. Ooh, powers that be. And you
Yeah,
just sort of go, shut the fuck up.
yeah,
He's a 20-year-old that, got signed to an F1 team and he's celebrating with his friends, and
yeah.
he's probably like, they're probably like fuck buddies. Let's not call it. Let's be real
This
here.
is what we call in French. You know, it touches one of my balls without moving the other.
Yeah.
That's the way of saying in French. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And seriously, guys, wake the fuck up and stop being freaking sissies all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just I'm so tired about. Oh, there's a comment about everything. There's an opinion about everything. You be reasonable a little bit, please. Be tolerant. This is the real message.
Yeah.
You know, this is the Black Lives Matters and all of this. You know, it's not Black Lives Matters. It's everybody's life matters.
Hmm.
And then it is also unisex as well in that
Yeah.
message,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's all that matters. You know, like just bring it to another level.
Yeah,
Stop
and it's like you and me.
stop pissing me off about it's red. I don't like red because I cannot see red. Why is it red? And it should be green instead. And then you've got the green people like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Like, I think fundamentally we agree on this. I mean, we it's not even about
Stop smoking.
it's more about it's just a fundamental problem that we both agree with, that like, this is shit everybody does. And I'm not talking about like assaulting people. I'm talking about my gym is only gay men. I don't know why. It just is like that. And
Yeah,
I get comments, right?
yeah.
I changed my hair. Everyone commented. And it's like, I don't even know who the fuck you are, but thank you. And it's just like, I go out, I get my ass grabbed. I don't give a shit. I really do not give a shit. I couldn't care less.
Same.
And it's the same. This guy was with his friends, probably celebrating he got an F1 contract, which is a big deal. It would be a big deal to me. And people that he is like close and, most likely intimate with, and it made it online. It's like, I'm sorry, but you don't have a right to comment on somebody's personal life like this
No,
and then
no, you
torch
don't.
their career because
You can comment and you can
you know.
commend your life, but
Yeah.
you have no right to judge somebody else's.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
this is,
there are rules, there are laws, and that's what we have to abide with, and that is great.
yeah.
But don't impose me your laws. I'm a free man.
Yeah. And
Just
you
leave
know
me
what?
the fuck alone.
Okay, we're getting so far away from Formula One, but I got to say this. But did you know this morning I read that Denmark made it illegal to have sex unless you have consent, and the consent has to be like formal consent. What, you need a form to hook up with somebody now? Like,
Yeah.
what a load of
So
shit!
now I have to go. I have to go out with, my
A
phone.
lawyer.
For Tinder, and obviously the razor blade and the foam, because I like it shaved. And then also with that consent in my back pocket and a pen.
It's, you just sort of look at it and go,
Seriously. I
have
mean,
you have
where
you
are we
like,
going? What's,
yeah, have
like,
you lost your mind that like,
are we completely disconnected from our animal sense that we have to control everything around and contract every interaction that we have? Are we
oh,
not, like, people are blaming the social media, but I guess, this is so universal that, yeah, we're listening to the obscure freaking 0.1% of the population to actually
oh yeah.
regulate what we're doing in our lives.
And this is what
Seriously, this is where we're going,
and this is
and
where
this is evolution. Is
and
this
this
evolution?
and this is where I was saying, like, this is what I was saying, like, well, actually, I haven't said it, but it's like participation award society. Everyone gets a trophy, and
But
then
that's,
suddenly,
yeah.
like, yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
needs one, and
so
you know
which means
what?
that
The,
every
the, the
opinion is
very
valid
the
now. Like,
very the
fuck
very
off.
important thing, Eric, is that I think that we're the majority thinking exactly like the way we think,
Yeah.
but we're being bothered by the last 10%
Well,
who
not
are
even
giving
10%.
me. Okay, I'm saying 10% because I want to
Okay.
give them an edge,
Arbitrary number. Yeah,
but 10% who are just giving us shit.
yeah.
Um, and I don't care to talk about controversial, things and themes and all of that that are just pissing me off. I mean, guys, come on, just let me be free to say what I want, to be who I am. Let me be, and for the record, I'm not, because if you look at my family tree, you'll see that there's no way that I am. But if I want to, let me be racist as well. And
Yeah.
leave me the fuck alone. This is my opinion. This is not yours. Don't change mine.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you look at it this way, and it's just like, I look at it, and people can sit there and say, draw whatever bullshit opinion they want, but it's like, you know, like, you have an Asian wife, I have an Asian Muslim girlfriend, your sister's married or was married to a black man, and all this other shit. It's just like,
Yeah, she's married
this
to a
is,
black man. My brother is married to an Asian woman as well.
it's like,
Like we have.
this is not an issue for us. You
No,
know,
it's
it's
never
it's
been. It's never been. Actually, now that you say it, is when I look at it, it's just like, it's for me. It's a normal thing. There's no. You find love where you find love. You find
yeah,
pain where you find pain. You find happiness where you find happiness. And for everyone's, it's different. And
exactly.
just give me that liberty, please. Let me be free to make my own choices
Yeah,
and to have my own opinions.
and this
That
is
should be what prevails all the time, not your imposition of your rules or your thinking on me. I don't care about you. I don't need to see you. I don't need you to tell me what it is. Just live your life separate.
exactly.
If we cannot meet, if we cannot have a drink, if we cannot have something like we have a podcast right now,
Yeah.
then that's fine. I can live without you. I've never known you before, but don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and this is exactly, if we're bringing it back to Formula One, we had the James Hunt versus Lauda movie, and you look at it and go, "What a the James Hunt, the Playboy, whatever." People can say, "Oh, that was a different time," and you go, "It's not a different time. This shit still happens now. It fucking happens
It
to us.
does.
Like
It
it's like
does.
this. You just look
But
at it, and it's
this,
like,
we cannot show it the same way. That's
oh,
the
of
only
course.
difference.
And then the
And
other
that's
side,
it.
and the other side of the coin is you have Kimi Raikkonen on the fucking grid still. The guy's a fucking drunk, man. Like you
Yeah.
saw him back when he was at
And
Ferrari. Do you
good for
remember
him.
that FIA awards ceremony? The guy was so fucking wasted, telling stupid jokes and having fun and whatever else. And nobody said a thing because it's like, Kimi Raikkonen's amazing. leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. You know,
No, but
that
again,
iconic quote. But it's true. And then to pull up Mazepin on this shit, it's just like fuck off. The guy, like you said,
it's
the guy is 20 or near enough 20, and like
it's
like
just
pissed
as I
off.
said, it's just like you're just equaling like a whole life of efforts because you
Yeah.
don't get there by chance. Okay, you've got the backup, and he was lucky enough to get the financial backup, but the talent is there anyway. And then you're resuming that guy in a 1 second freaking video, and that's his whole life is over. I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm
and for
sorry.
1 second
We're all
video,
weak. We all have a weakness, and
yeah,
those guys who give us lessons, you have weaknesses as well.
yeah,
So shut
and
the fuck up.
they're probably the ones that have the biggest character flaws. You know what I mean?
Not the
But you know,
biggest, but they have the ones that we all have.
mm,
We all have weaknesses.
and
I'm not gonna hide behind. Actually, for me, what I think is making me a good manager is that the fact that I know that I'm weak in some areas, and that's why I surround myself with people who are really talented in those areas where I'm weak.
well,
You know,
this
that's
is the
what
thing.
forms a team. That's what
I,
is
t- I,
teamwork.
I tell my leadership team every month we have a management meeting to sum up the month and what's upcoming, right? And in my leadership team or leadership meetings, almost every meeting I sit there and say, my job is to make myself irrelevant.
Yeah,
You know,
that is the job.
my job is to make myself absolutely
I'm the
irrelevant
last
to
one
the
to talk,
yeah,
and most of the time I don't have to talk.
yeah,
You guys
and
lead the
exactly.
freaking meeting.
And that's the way I just go, I need to make myself irrelevant. I need to make sure
Yeah.
you are all better than me. That's my job. I need to make sure I
Yes.
don't have a job. That's
Yes.
that's my it's most people can't get that through their head because
No.
they're chasing glory or
No.
whatever it is. But like,
Most people don't understand the
yeah,
PDCA running. You know, like
yeah, yeah.
a lot of it going, and yeah, definitely. And again, you know, like don't judge us for I'm thinking right instead of left.
Yeah.
You
And
see
I look at
right, I see left.
yeah, and
Respect
I
that.
look at Mazepin, back to F1. This is an incident where probably, like you said, a 1 second thing where both him and the girl, who are a friend of his, and I guarantee they've probably been
Yeah.
intimate before, didn't even think about it.
No,
Other
that's the
people
thing. It's a
spoke on their behalf.
non-event that is just like it's like a mayonnaise that you try to do. I don't know if you know how to do a mayonnaise.
I
I
have
do
no
a
idea.
wicked mayonnaise, and
Okay.
the thing is, it doesn't take. You know, like sometimes it doesn't take,
Yeah.
that's what the media is trying to do with that one. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
And why putting fingers, sexual assault, and women are weaker than men, and blah 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 blah. You know what?
I look
Shut
at
the
it this
fuck up.
yeah, I
It's
sit
not,
there and go,
again, it's not about, and I'm just talking to the people watching, if there are still some people watching and some women watching, you know, are feeling offended by this, you know what? Go to hell. Because
I
the
don't
thing
care.
is,
We neither of us care.
I hire man or women, I hire them at the same salary, and I hire people for skills. I don't
Yeah.
care. I absolutely dislike quotas because you're a woman or because you're a man that I have quotas and I have to hire one or the other. No, I hire people on skills, and it's the
Exactly.
same salary, and
And
there's no difference for
like
me when I hire people.
even in your previous organization, I know you have a lady boy working
Yes,
there. Like
yeah.
even in my organization, some of the highest paid people in my
Actually, for
organization are
me,
female. There's
I
like,
love diversity because you know what, the market in front of us is diverse.
yeah,
So yes, I want diversity because there are some people who will you will not like, some other people you will like. So I want diversity in my teams all the time, whether it's be religious, gender, sexual orientation, whatever it is. I don't care.
yeah,
I like you. I'm interested in that person.
yeah. It's the
That's it.
same thing for me. Like,
And a
and
person is neutral in
yeah,
every sense of the way. It's a person.
I don't care if you walk into an office. Well, I mean, maybe I will care, but like, I don't care if you walk into an office and tell me you're like, oh, you identify as an Apache helicopter. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at your performance, you know,
Yeah.
and we get, and I get along with everyone. Like I said, you know my office,
But
and
not only the
I know
point. Actually, you were making a better point even than this. Not only the performance, but what I can bring you to.
yeah,
This is what is really interesting. You know, when you have someone who's working with you, a colleague, and you get the chance to be in a leadership position, whatever it means, is to bring those people around you up.
exactly.
You know,
And
to
that's
actually
exactly it,
see
you
the
know.
potential that they have, and that's so much more interesting than, oh, he grabbed the boob.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I am so
Come
not about
on,
awarding people for being miserable fucks that have never had any life experience or whatever. Like,
call it. I like to grab boob.
yeah, I like
This
crap boob.
podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, we
You
probably
know,
should, but
no,
you know,
no.
I
What is it called? That song. I like ass, and I don't know why. No, what is it? Um,
I like big butts.
I like
I
big
can't
butts,
deny.
and I can't deny. I like, yeah, I
Yeah.
like boobs, and I can't deny. Let's call it like this, something
Yeah.
like this.
But man, like
Seriously.
I think
And
the
you know
point
what?
is
They
very clear.
bring the comments because I'm gonna
Yeah.
answer every single one of them.
I look at this shit and I like it's in F1. Like, you know how they got rid of grid girls and all this other stuff. People are like, "Oh, good, you know, we're not objectifying women."
How
And it's just
stupid is this? How
like this is what I'm
stupid is
saying.
this?
The glitz and the glamour is gone. The
Women are
glitz and the
beautiful. Women have a superpower.
oh yeah,
They can create life. They have that
exactly.
superpower.
That's a fucking superpower. It
It
is.
is a superpower. I I I I can't say this enough.
Yeah.
I just I'm in awe. For me, I put women on a pedestal all
Oh
the
yeah.
time, and yet I want to see great girls because I think this is the most beautiful thing you can see. If you show me a picture or whatever, the thing that I don't care. For me, it's a celebration of how beautiful women are, and then that's it.
Yes, but I'm sorry. The Citroen DS.
Ooh.
That we're drawing a fine line here. The Citroen DS.
If we bring it back to cars, yes, definitely. The
That is
Citroën DS is.
quite a car.
That's why it was called a DS. You know what DS means in French, right?
What's that?
Everybody should know. DS in French means goddess.
Oh really?
Yeah, it does. DS in DS.
There we
Um,
go. Even
and
engineers,
it's just like
they acknowledge.
that car is just like so many levels of beautiful. But yeah, again, it's beautiful. Uh, beautiful everything. You know, you see beauty in everything. And for me, I see beauty in women. I think that women will eventually solve the world conflicts all around the globe because they're so much reasonable than men. And yes, we're capable differently. Stop trying to draw a line between what is right and what is wrong when we're thinking differently.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, yes, for me, again, I put women on a
And like you
pedestal because
said,
they
you
have a
love
superpower.
diversity.
They have a superpower.
Yeah, but like diversity is not what you see. Diversity is also up here, you know? The
Yeah.
diversity of
And I
thought is really
love
important.
diversity because there's so many angles that we don't see. There's
Yeah,
so many
exactly.
things that we don't see. You know why I think I don't want to I want to remain humble, when it comes to this. So I'm not gonna say that I'm a great or good or whatever. The reason why I'm a manager right now, the reason why my bosses trust me to be a manager is because I recognize my own weaknesses and I
Oh
surround
yeah.
myself with people who actually can do the things I cannot. Again,
Yeah.
it's get back to your point, and it's at the end of the day, in a meeting when I don't have anything to say, it's the best meeting because the team
Yeah.
is running.
Mm,
But at the same time, you always have something that you can improve on. So that's what you have to look at the gaps. But it's
exactly.
the
Yeah.
PDCA, the plan,
Yeah.
do, check, act. I'm
Yeah.
here to plan and check. I'm not here to do and act. You
Exactly.
know,
You know,
um,
like it's
it's as simple as this.
and you know,
Um,
that's got nothing to do with your identity or the way you think or it's got to do.
yeah, it
It's
doesn't.
but you know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, a lot of like truly successful leaders realize that they need to make themselves irrelevant. You
But you
know, and like
have
you
to.
said, planning
have
and
to.
checking is what you do. It's not.
You remember when we worked together, what I was always saying?
Mm,
I want to run it the way that if I live, if I die, if I'm out and everything, that the machine still runs.
yeah.
And Thailand is actually an example of this. For the very local one,
Mm.
Thailand is an example of this. They're still running. They have this event tonight that I'm gonna have to join actually because I want to see those guys. They invited my wife as well, so we're gonna be going to that event.
Great.
And it's nice. It's just lovely. Like to see that they're still running. And don't get me wrong. Like when I went back to see them 2 weeks ago, went back around the office, and everybody's like, "Oh, Julian, and we want you back. Come back, and we miss you, and all of this." Hey,
Yeah.
there was dust in the air a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And
that's
that's what it is.
simply like I think
And
we've
my
exhausted
beautiful
it.
wife is asking me to go.
Oh, really? Do
She's
we
so
need to do a
beautiful.
podcast?
Why don't you give a wave, baby, to the chat instead of taking care of Legos? Come say hello. Come say hello. She's so beautiful.
Give her the
Why?
headphones so I can say hello. Hi,
Why?
Tom. How are you doing, Tom? I'm good.
Okay.
How are you?
Stop stealing the spotlight. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get myself. I gotta make myself pretty.
No problem. All right. Thank you, everybody. This started as a automotive, predominantly Formula One podcast, but it ended up on a philosophical discussion. But
And you know
I
what?
think
This is
it's
probably more the trend.
oh yeah, it probably is more the trend, but it helps.
We remade the world.
We remade the world. Sante, my friend. Sante, my friend. Okay, so thank
I
you,
miss you,
everybody.
man. I miss you.
I miss you too. I can't wait for you to come here and we chill out and do whatever. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, or hate. I don't care. We actually don't care.
Yeah, the dislike, the likes, whatever.
This is
You
our
know.
hangout. Because of
If you
COVID,
listen to that much, I mean, to that late. Anyway, you have to like us.
yeah,
You have to subscribe, and you have to take all of the notifications.
yeah, you have to.
Otherwise, Eric will come to your place and kick your ass, and it's not gonna be pleasant.
Why would I do that?
I don't know. Because you like traveling.
I do like
you like
traveling,
people.
actually. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, love you guys. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Eric, I miss you.
Have a good day. I miss you too,
See you
man.
soon.
We'll speak to you soon.